I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Only one film this summer has Robo Action, Robo Heat, Robo Power, Robocop 2, Maximum Thrash. Rated R. Starts Friday, June 22nd at theaters everywhere.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. And this is another paid request, this time for Vonte. And it's for a review of Robocop 2. Now for those interested in requesting pretty much any other type of videos or topics or randomness or what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things down below in the info box. Now Robocop 2, at the end of the day, is a sequel I like. I don't mind the sequel. I think it's entertaining. I think there's a lot of good notes to it. I don't think it's as bad as his reputation says it is. I think it's a film that is a bit underrated. Now, do I think it's on par with the first film? No. Do I think it's... Let me put it this way. If the first film is a 4.5 out of 5 star film, this is like a 3.5 star film. It's a pretty decent flick, although it does have its issues. But when people say that this is worse than Robocop 3, I have no idea what they're talking about. It's like the people that say that Ninja Turtles 2 is better. Well, if they say it's better than Part 3, I agree. But people that say Ninja Turtles 3 is better, I'm like, why? The Turtles look like shit. And the story's more shit. And the villains are more shit. And the Turtles, they got diseased moles around their face. Robocop 3 is PG-13, where Robocop drives a fucking pimp-mobile. Don't call it a chum. Fuck you think you are, Adam West from Batman? But yeah, I'll get to Robocop 3, because that was the other request Vonte had. But this one, Cain is badass. A drug-addicted robot? Yes, thank you. I like the way it's designed. I like the way it looks. I like the way it's moved. The usage of stop motion among other technical effects. Peter Weller and Nancy Allen coming back is a big plus. Peter Weller, nice to see him again as Robocop. I thought it still had a good chunk of the satire, like the first one had, which I saw next to nil in the third film. And yes, this is way better than the remake. Because the satire, when critics say, oh, it's not as satiric and creative as the first movie, I don't know what movie they saw. You have the PC Robocop storyline where the story is Robocop is after this cult member named Cain. There's this drug named Newt, sending it out to the masses. Robocop wants to stop it. At one point, the bad guys get to drop on him, tear him to pieces. OCP rebuilds him, but then, as part of the PC brigade, they install all this extra shit in him to watch out for, to the point it literally is messing him up. And I think that's a satire, that's a satiric angle that works. It worked back then. It works even more now. It's even more funny to me. And it's extremely relevant because of how this is a character to defend himself. He will use deadly force, big blood squibs, and then oh, well, can't he talk about environmental issues? Oh, that he always shoots that gun. Can't he talk his problems out? Like, this is the board meeting, and the lady she's fucking evil. She's like, yeah, good idea, good idea. And then they put all this extra shit in him. So then it shows how ridiculous when you try to over PC something that it becomes a farce. It does drive you insane. And it drives Robocop insane because of all these jargon put into his data feed that just discombobulates him. I mean, it's the whole ridiculousness of, think of the kids in these dangerous times and the world Robocop coincides with. So here's this little league of kids that murdered someone because there's a dead person out there, but he's trying to teach them what the hell is bad language equals bad feelings. Or when the guy's smoking and he shoots around the guy, thank you for not smoking. Which, I mean, that alone would be a great anti-smoking commercial. But again, please don't smoke, but take it to the extreme. I mean, again, that shows how crazy insanity this chaos of PC can de-evolve to, and I think that's a great piece of satire. Same with the fake commercials. It begins with this fun commercial of Megavolt with this actor John Glover. You've seen him in Gremlins 2. He was the boss of the building in Gremlins 2. He was in the Mouth of Madness as one of the doctors in the asylum at the beginning of the film. He's popped up in other stuff. Batman and Robin. He was when Poison Ivy was created, born. And this whole Megavolt commercial where a guy's trying to steal a car, gets electrocuted, and John Glover opens up the door, the body falls out, and he's talking about all the great prompts, all the great ideals of having this product. And what was the last thing he says? It won't even run down your battery. There's also the very dark, horrific commercial of the guy that didn't use the right place, so he commits suicide, and there's a picture of his baby it cuts to, and then Mike OCP actually uses it at the beginning of his videos, the OCP Communications logo. Ding! I could see a whole hour of these commercials. Same with the first film, with the dinosaur that's with the car, and then the Nukem board game. Like, if someone made a whole hour of these fake commercials with this amount of style, wit, and the way it's done, where it's filmed like a real commercial, it doesn't look cheap. It's witty, it's hilarious. The Robocop 2 designs, where they're trying to create another Robocop. So Felton Perry, who was in the first one, he was in the third film. He's with the old man, Dan O'Herlihy, who was in the first film, and he was also the villain in Halloween 3. I believe he was also in... No, Halloween 3, he was the villain in that. He didn't show up in Robocop 3, the old man, but he's showing them these other designs, and just the way they go crazy, where one goes nuts and starts shooting people and then shoots itself. The other tears off the helmet. It's like a skeleton, like skull. Ah! Like, that stuff is pretty damn funny and pretty damn witty. The whole idea of trying to make another, but there's no equal to the original Robocop. And because it's R-rated, they're able to go into these directions and not be hindered by the rating, by, well, we can't do this because of the kids. Like, the stuff they're making fun of in this movie is what they did in Robocop 3. The stuff they're making fun of with the whole PC satire. Oh, what about the kids? And can't he just talk it out? What they made fun of is real Robocop 3, where he's shooting a gun and the gun's popping up 30 times. You can pretty much see the fucking wires. And he's driving a fucking pimp mobile. Ridiculous. So again, Peter Weller, nice to see him again. He has the right tone of voice and mannerisms of Robocop. He played him in the first movie, so he's fitting into the role well. Nancy Allen, nice to see her. She gets to do a little bit like she did in the first movie, where she gets in the tank and runs down Cain. I like the guy who plays the mayor. I forget his name. He's actually one of the victims in Wes Craven's Hills of Ice Part 2. The satire. The action is fun. I even like the song, "The kid goes wild," which was in a lot of the marketing. I know when this film came out, they were marketing it even to WCW, where Robocop appears to help Sting. Was it Capital Combat or something? Oh my god, to help Sting out of the cage, here comes Robocop. Which I don't know how much that promotion really helped the movie, because Robocop 2 did not do that well at the box office, Sally. I don't think it's that bad of a film. And the action is fun. The blood squibs are still apparent and running rampant. He does trick shots. A nice shot where he shoots a sniper right through the eyeball. That was satisfying. Tom Noonan as Cain. Tom Noonan from Manhunter. He was the Frankenstein monster in the Monster Squad. It's nice to see him as the cult leader Cain. Even the kid who is one of the bad guys, it never bothered me. It bothered a lot of critics. But to me, it made the film seem a bit ballsy of having a foul-mouthed kid that is willing to kill people. And in this world that's built up, you can buy that. So it never bothered me. And the action with him and Cain, I thought it was cool. It was a nice step up. When I say step up, as in, it brought a bit of a comic book feel to the finale. For some reason, the finale reminded me of Superman 2. I know this sounds... I guess with Superman, the first film, doing the Lex Luthor, more human villain. While here, they amplify the villain. It's bigger. It's... Instead of the Kryptonians, here's Cain. And there's some really cool moments during that battle, where Robocop is able to use the big gun and fire at Cain. He targets the gun and shoots the shoulder gun off Cain. But then Cain makes him fly back. But then it's trying to burn Robocop, and it goes through the helmet, this welding torch thing Cain has. I love the design of Cain. I think it looks really cool, looks really neat. Kudos to the person who designed Cain. And the idea that because he was a drug-addicted person, and this evil bitch unplugged him and put his brain in this machine, his brain still has that tendency to want drugs. So then they installed this thing like, you do what we want and we'll give you your fix. A drug-addicted robot. I want to see a whole action horror movie with that. I truly do. A big-budget horror action film with a group of good guys, mercenaries, the Expendables, whoever, going up against this big, badass, drug-addicted robot. I think that'd be... And Robocop's badass. He rips the fucking brain out and smashes the brain. This isn't like Robocop 3 where Robocop's a pussy. Again, he rips out the bad guy's brain and smashes it to the ground. Earlier, he's driving a motorcycle, rams it right into the windshield to stop the human version of Cain. Again, he's shooting people through the eye. Even near the beginning of the film, where the guy has a fucking baby ready to shoot it, he does the trick shot, hits the guy right in the head. That's very cool. So there's fun to be had, and it's a fun sequel. Now, why do I not love it? I do think it's a step down from the first film. I do think, I wouldn't say it's a major step down, but it is a decent-sized step down. For a number of reasons. Number one being, I don't understand. Well, before I get to that point, the point that popped in my head is the store in this film sucks. I've given it a pass in the past. I have. The musical score is by Leonard Rosenman. He's no Basil Polidorus. Almost said Brad Fidel. He's no Basil Polidorus. And that's like one of the only good things about Robocop 3 is the Basil Polidorus score. And on YouTube, you can find certain people have put scenes of Robocop 2 and they plug in Basil Polidorus' score, and it just works so much better because I have no idea why they did not use Basil Polidorus. It's not like he would say no, because he did Robocop 3. If he was busy, then you should have waited. Because it would have been worth it. Because, again, I've given the score in the past. I know this, but I was being lenient on it. I can't anymore. Because when you watch Robocop, and great score. Here, it sounds like the score to Star Trek 4, because it's the composer of Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. That score works for Star Trek 4. That type of score does not work for this. It makes me think Robocop is going to go shoot some humpback whales any second. Like, the score sucks. Basil Polidorus' score is severely missed. That hurts the film quite a bit. It does show the power of a musical score. It really does. The second thing, I thought this lost a bit of the heart, which is a big part of what made the first Robocop a classic. And the more I think about it, Robocop would be a 4.5 out of 5 star movie. That's a damn good movie. I think I put it 4 out of 5 on Letterboxd. I'm going to change it. It'd be like 4.5. Like, it's a damn good film. It's really, I mean, it's a classic of ultra violence, but also it has a good heart to it. And granted, you could say, yeah, his story was told. By the end of the movie, his story was done. But that's where you have to then get some creative juices flowing to further that human story and connection, because that's a good point of Robocop. What it's missing, it's still a fun sequel, but you could feel that there's a gap there. There's a hole left in there. And they try to do a little bit of the human portion of the story where he's watching his wife and they tell him stop watching her. And he's like, hey, he lies to the wife going, this is his face, that they did it to honor him so that she'll let go. And then they completely drop the story. It's never mentioned again. Yeah, I know there's deleted scenes, but those scenes are deleted. They're not part of the movie, so I can't judge on that front. And I think there is elements you could do with the wife, with the kid. The wife and kid could be in danger from Cain. Do a better version of what they tried to do in the Robocop remake. Like in the Robocop remake, what they try to do with the wife and kid trying to be with Robocop, and then Robocop's, am I the father, the husband? Am I this machine? I think there's much, like, imagine that, what they try to do in the remake, and to me failed for a number of reasons. If they did it in this with Peter Weller, with the dire straits of the villain and how dangerous it is, and you have it, like the son. You have the bad kid find out about Robocop and befriend the good kid, Robocop's son, and there'd be some tension there. hey, this is my friend. You're just a machine. You're not my dad. But then realizes that it is his dad and he just wants best for him. But at the same time realizing, hey, I'm your dad, but in a way I'm going to be here for you, but at the same time I'm not, like this sort of understanding. I think there's meat to it. I'm just pontificating of the drop of a hat. Get with a couple people. I think you could really milk some genuine emotion. And also, to me, it negates the ending of the first film. The ending of the first film is this whole journey where he goes, call me Murphy. And then he leaves. Robocop ends. Now we're back to square one, and I'm sorry, that is a bummer. That makes it seem like the journey in the first movie seemed pointless. Rather pointless, because he's back to stage one. I think there's much smarter, better writing that you could have done with that. Where he could still make that worthwhile, but now it's this friction of, yes, I'm OCP property, but my name's Murphy, and yeah, you own me, but at the same time, I am my own individual, and he showcases that, so that creates tension between him and OCP. Kind of like Dirty Harry when he has tension with his superiors. Only Robocop he wouldn't be talking like Dirty Harry, but it's that, again, being against authority. He can't do anything too much because he still has the fourth directive, but it's still this, hey, I follow these guidelines. Other than that, fuck off, OCP. Again, I think there's more you could get out of that as well without him not transgressing, that's the wrong word. Regressing to how he acted when he he's acting like when he first was online in the first movie. I think because of that, he's more, I hate to say this, in the first film he's more of a character. In this one he's more of an action figure. To move him from action scene to action scene to action scene. It's still fun. Still entertaining. Peter Weller still does a good job, as well as Nancy Allen, Tom, all these. Willard Pugh, I believe, is the guy, the mayor. I liked his energy. That thing's a killer. He's a fun mayor character. But again, he felt less of a character, more of an action figure. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that way. And so that kind of hindered it as well. So the human element is not as strong as in the first movie. It still works as a fun film, but that stuff missing is why it doesn't come to the par of the first movie. But it's still a fun flick. Again, I just didn't like the idea of he's not Alex Murphy anymore. He's back to Robocop. I'm like, he could still be Alex Murphy, but he's still doing what he's doing. And then it's like they try to put something into it, but then it's dropped quickly, and then for some reason, it kind of felt like Robocop was barely in it at times. I know that doesn't make sense, but I think it's because, okay, we're with Robocop, but then we're with Dan O'Herlihy and Felton Perry. Then we're with the evil scientist lady that reprograms Robocop, and then we're with the cops wanting to strike. We're with the Tom Noonan, and then we're with the kid, and we're with the dirty cop, and then we're back to the mayor's storyline with the old man. And again, just sometimes it felt like Robocop was missing. They would plug him into an action scene, and then he's missing again. Like, I felt like he felt more of a focus point in the story in the first movie than this one. That might not make sense to anybody else, but it's just that feeling I got when watching it again. Listen, it still offers escapism entertainment. It's the last decent Robocop film. Cain is an awesome design. I like the big bow he has. Robocop gets his badass moments. I mean, he rips out the villain's brains and smashes it to the ground. That's fucking metal. Metal. Fuck. That's fucking metal. Metal, if I could do it right. Fucking metal. Yeah. If they worked on the human element a bit more, bring in Basil Polidorus to do the score, give us a little bit more meat, a little bit more heart to the bones of here, I do think it would have been on par with the original. As it is, it's a step down, but like I say, it's still a fun movie. It's still an entertaining film. Again, the battle is entertaining, it's big. I'm trying to think if there's stuff I'm missing. I'm sure there is. I wrote a couple stuff down in case I didn't want to miss stuff. Yeah, the at the beginning, it won't even run down your battery. The magnavolt or megavolt. Oh, the way Robocop arrives, it's a great first impression. Where they blow up the car, then he steps out of the fiery car. But then the score, like if you had that and then Basil Polidorus' score, goosebumps. Then with the scores, like, I'm like, is he going to shoot humpback whales? Is he going to talk to Captain Kirk? Double dumbass on you, Robocop? Double dumbass on you. Is this Leonard Rosenman? May he rest in peace. He does better with Star Trek 4. But like the score for Star Trek 4 would not work for Star Trek 2 or Star Trek 6. Certain composers work for certain stuff. Not this. I didn't. I think he worked with the director, which is Irvin Kershner. I didn't even mention. Irvin Kershner, the guy who directed The Empire Strikes Back, directed this. And his direction, I don't have many issues with it. Let's see. Oh, other people, Stephen Lee. He plays the dirty cop, Officer Duffy. It was nice to see him in there. Robocop slamming him around in the arcade. Stephen Lee, I remember, he was in a film called Dolls, a horror film called Dolls by the late Stuart Gordon. And I miss Stuart Gordon. And Dolls was a fun movie. Stephen Lee did a good job in that. He was in this as well. And if you're wondering why I'm not showing anything, I don't have the Blu-ray. I know Scream Factory did a Blu-ray of it. I never got it because I just assumed they'd be talking shit about the film. And it's like, well, no, I don't think it's a 5 out of 5 star movie. I don't think it deserves to be shit on either. And it's like, if they don't do that, I'm not paying $30 to get the Blu-ray just to hear people shit on it. I'm fine with that. If they don't, they don't. Cool. But I don't know if they don't talk about Robocop 2 and that documentary they're supposed to be making, RoboDoc. Which is funny, Peter Weller is like doing all these other documentaries except that one. I'm sure it makes my friend Mike just make his head explode. Like, what the fuck? Like, you don't do all these other documentaries and KFC commercials and Mortal Kombat video games, but the ultimate documentary Robocop, nah, I'm not going to do that. I'll talk about Robocop in this other documentary. I don't get it either. Another thing about it, with the whole ending, another thing that made me think of Superman 2, Robocop says, Cain, let's step outside. That's kind of what Superman says. Where Superman says to Zod, would you care to step outside? It's like the same line. So no wonder maybe think of Superman 2. Cain, let's step outside. I'm like, yeah. Superman did say that at Zod in Superman 2. No wonder I had Superman 2 vibes. But yeah, Tardy shoots the gun, the whole elevator. It climbs up the elevator, tries to cut his helmet. That's a pretty damn fun sequence. Again, just the other elements. Even the whole thing with Robocop, like he sees his evil kid, and it makes him think of his son, but it doesn't really lead to anywhere. Like, it doesn't really lead to anything. Like, they do this build-up of he sees the kid and reminds him of his son, but what does it really lead to? I mean, the kid dies, and then he comforts the kid, and then the kid dies. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't seem like it really led to anywhere that's substantial. But maybe, again, maybe it's just me. But yeah, Robocop 2 is still a fun movie, entertaining film, and still worth a look. And the last good Robocop film. The rest have sucked. Robocop 3 sucked. The remake sucked dick. Robo Bucati on your face. And I don't want a new Robocop movie. They were going to do Robocop Returns. It was going to be the Neil Blomkamp. And then I think he left, and it was going to be something like, just don't do anything, man, please. Just leave it alone. Leave it alone. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.